Hi friends, it's Miss Alicia, and today I am coming to you with our week 3 video. Last week we talked about our feelings and, sad, happy, mad, scared, and loved. So this week we are going to be talking about rules and routines. They kind of go together because routines help us follow the rules, and rules are important because they keep us safe. So, do you remember every single time we start a video, we always start by singing a song, right? Because that's our routine. We've done that since week number 1. So we already have been building routines, even though you might not have known it. So let's go ahead and start with our song like we always do. And maybe now, since you've heard it a few times, you might be ready to sing with me. So here we go. I'm so glad that we're together, together, together. So glad that we're together, together today. There's you and there's me and our friend family. I'm so glad that we're together, together today. Yay! And friends, I really am glad that we're together today. Sorry that the light is so bright. I keep trying to move it. I'm sorry if it looks so shaky. I'm trying to move it so that the light isn't so super bright. But it's really sunny outside today, so I'm not going to complain that it's so bright in my house. I have a window behind me, you can see, and then I have a window on the other side of me, so I have the sun coming in from both ways. And that's okay because the sun makes me happy, and the sun is good for you too. So that's why it's so bright on my screen today. But let's get started. So remember I said that we were going to talk about rules and routines. So what are rules anyway? Well, I brought my friend, Mr. Fox, to help me tell you what rules are, okay? Rules are something that the Finn Bigs make sure that all the Finn Littles stay safe. Oh, so that staying safe must be important, huh, Mr. Fox? A Finn Big's number one job is to keep a Finn Little safe. And the Finn Little's number one job is to help the Finn Big keep them safe. Oh, could you repeat that one more time, Mr. Fox? That sounded really important. Sure. The Finn Big's number one job is to keep a Finn Little safe. And a Finn Little's number one job is to help the Finn Big keep them that way. Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's really important for the Finn Big, mommy, daddy, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, babysitter, teacher. It's really important for them to keep the little safe. Yes, that is right. Okay. And it's really important for the little to help the Finn Big keep them that way. Absolutely. I get it. And how can they help us? Well, they can help by following the rules. Oh, okay. So I guess that means that we should get to the rules. I think you're right. Let's get a move on. So Mr. Fox says that it's important for your Fin Big to keep you safe. And it's important that you help them keep you safe. You help them by following the rules. So I'm going to tell you some of the rules that we have at school. And even though they're school rules, these rules are good for home, they're good for the store, they're good for the playground, they're good for anywhere. So our classroom rules that we use at school are to have looking eyes. It's always important to be looking around you to see what is going on. You know, if you're riding your bike or you're running and you're not looking where you're going, you might hit a friend, you might run into something, and then you could get hurt. So it's not safe if we're not looking. So we always want to use our looking eyes to watch where we're going and to see what's going on around us, to see our friends, to keep our eye on our fin big. It's really important to always look with your looking eyes to see what is happening around you. Listening ears. So these are our ears, right? And we use those to listen. So it's important that we listen because we might hear sounds that tell us that something isn't right, or we need to listen to what our fin big is telling us because they tell us things to help keep us safe. So it's important that we always use our listening ears to hear what our fin big is telling us so that we can help them keep us safe, right? Kind words. So, kind words, it's being a nice person, saying things like, you're a nice friend, or even just saying please and thank you. Those are kind words. It's always nice to be nice to people and to use our manners because words that aren't kind hurt people. And we don't want to hurt people because we're good friends. Good friends use kind words, okay? Helping hands. So, helping hands might be to help a friend that fell down and you reach out your hand and you help them back up. Or it might be helping your fin big pick up, helping your fin big make a snack, um, you know, helping your fin big do pretty much anything that they might need your help with. Those are all helpful hands. And something that goes with helpful hands is gentle hands. So you want to make sure that you're using gentle hands and gentle touches, a handshake, a hug, a high five. Helpful hands and gentle hands. Those are good choices. And walking feet. We use that because, sometimes it's not safe to run. If you're in a place like the playground or you're outside in the yard and your fin big says that it's okay to run, then yes, run, play, get that activity. But it's always important to make sure that you're running in a safe place. Inside the house, and unless your fin big says it's okay, but inside the house usually is not a good place to run because you could run and bump into things and then you would fall down, or you could trip and get hurt, and those are not safe choices. If you're outside and you're running, you might accidentally run into the road or run into the parking lot, and that's not a safe choice. Something could happen and you could get hurt. So it's really, really, really important that we listen to our fin big, and if they say walking feet, that means we need to slow it down and we need to walk so that we can be safe. Okay? All right, so those are our rules at school, but they're also good rules for home, right? Now, you might have different rules at home. Maybe you have a rule at home that you can't touch the stove because the stove is hot and you never know when it's going to be hot. Your mom or your fin big could be cooking, and then you touch the stove and you get a boo-boo on your hand, and then you would be sad and your fin big would be sad. So it's really, 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 really important that we don't touch things without a grown-up, like scissors. Scissors are super fun, right? But we should always have a fin big, a grown-up helping us with scissors to make sure that we don't accidentally cut ourselves and hurt ourselves, right? So I think a good rule for home is to always have your fin big close, or an adult close. Always check with them. Maybe another rule at home might be to never open the door. So, opening the door should be a grown up job, right? Now, you could go with your fin big or go with your grown up when they go answer the door. but you should always have your grown up near, right? Yeah. So, Finn Biggs, you could sit down with your littles and make up some rules for your home that are, catered to your family and your family needs. And visuals work really nicely. You see, it has the eyes for the reminder for looking eyes, the hands for the reminder for the helpful hands. If you can print them out, great. If you can't, you can make these right at home. They don't have to be fancy or perfect. Just draw a couple of eyes, draw some hands. Visuals are great for littles because they are, they're those visual cues, those visual reminders. So even if the word isn't clicking yet, they're seeing it. So now they're hearing it and they're seeing it so that they can pick up those rules easier. The same with routines. Visuals are great for routines, and we'll get into that soon. Um, but yeah, it might be a good time to sit down with your little and tell them your rules for home and tell them why you have those rules so that you can help keep them safe. And one good thing when you're making rules to remember is to keep them simple. It might be a big rule with a lot of details, but break it down to something really simple and small for them. Usually 1 to 2 words: looking eyes, listening ears, walking feet, adult near, gentle hands, kind words. Um, Always try to keep them very simple so that it's easier for them to catch on to and to comprehend and learn in the beginning, because we want to start teaching them rules when they're really young, right? Consistency is key. So if you start when they're young, and then you continue that, they will have those skills as they grow and as they develop. So one thing I did want to tell you is that in early Head Start, we use conscious discipline, and conscious discipline is so amazing. It's remarkable for helping children develop. It does take consistency. So you can start this at a really young age. You can start this at birth and then continue as they grow. I wanted to show you, this. I don't know if you can see this, but it says that conscious discipline, it mm, it gives them essential life values. So it teaches them integrity, independence, respect, empowerment, diversity, compassion, responsibility. Those are all life qualities that your child will need as they grow older. You can get on the internet and look up conscious discipline, and there will be articles and videos and tips. And if you have some extra time, I would really recommend that you look into conscious discipline. I know that for myself, I didn't know about it with my older 3 kids, but then I learned about it through working at Finn with my youngest daughter, and it has been really nice for her. So I would really recommend that you look into conscious discipline when you're setting rules and routines, and find some helpful tips that'll work for your family. Um, so moving on to routines. Routines and rules go together because kids are every day trying to learn if their needs are going to be met by the people that care about them in their life. They are trying to figure out the world around them, and routines make life a little bit more predictable for them. So when you set a routine and you're consistent and you do that every single day, then they know as the day goes on, as the days go on, that that's going to be something that they can predict is going to happen. And when they have that predictability, it helps them to follow the rules. So routines and rules go hand in hand with each other. It helps to also, like I said, have the visuals and to set different routines for different parts of the day. I have some things here just to give you an example. So it could be something as simple as a good morning routine. Wake up, breakfast, get dressed, brush your teeth, time to go. Or maybe you're not leaving. Maybe after they brush their teeth, it's time to read a book, or it's playtime, or um, cartoon time. Maybe you give them 15 minutes of cartoon time. Whatever you are doing with your child at home. So make this relatable to you and your family. And again, you can draw out these pictures. You could draw a little bed, draw a toothbrush, anything that will help them to see their routine. And sometimes it's nice to even, make a little check mark next to them as you do them so the child can see, oh, okay, I've woken up. I've had my breakfast, I've got dressed, I brushed my teeth, and then they can see, wow, I completed my whole routine. I have checks all on my page. I have completed my whole routine. And then, you can give them clap and they feel proud of themselves, and they're now learning rules, they're learning routine, they're learning responsibility, they're feeling pride within themselves, they're now more confident because they know that they can accomplish something. So something so little, but it does so much for their development. Maybe you work or you leave, or anytime you leave the house, you could do a routine with your child. You could say, okay, I'm back now. So what do you want to do? Do you want a bear hug, or do you want to do wiggly hands? And that can also help with separation anxiety. A lot of infants and toddlers struggle with separation anxiety. So, giving them a fun routine for when you're coming back will give them something that they can look forward to, and also some security in knowing, well, my fin big is going to come back, and when they come back, we're going to do something really fun. You can give them a few options and let them choose which one they like. And it doesn't have to be the same thing every time. So, every time you leave, when you come back, give them a choice of a hug or a high five or wiggly hands, anything that your child likes to do. Maybe your child likes to fist bump, or maybe, your child wants to um, kick their leg up, kick their right leg up, whatever they want to do, but just make it something that they like and something that's doable and something that they can look forward to. And then, another example would be a bedtime routine. So this one says, if your child is going to the potty, to go potty, put on their pajamas, brush their teeth, read a story, and then go to bed. So just something very simple. And again, you can edit these steps to whatever matches your family routine. I think it's really nice to have at least the AM and PM routine. And then, like I said, this is just an option for if you're leaving and you're coming back. It's really just to show that you can set a routine for pretty much any part of your child's day. An example is like hand washing. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it says washing hands. And this is something that like in the classroom, we have these by the sinks. If you wanted to do that at your home, you could put something like this by your sink. And it shows all the steps for hand washing. So it's teaching them to do it appropriately, but it's also teaching them to follow steps and to follow a routine, which again teaches them all of those things that we talked about. Responsibility, being able to follow direction, pride, confidence, responsibility, all of those things. So, something as simple as washing your hands can be broken down into a routine. Some other things, maybe getting dressed. You could say, okay, first you put on your shirt, then, the whole routine all the way to the shoes. So, however you do that in your family, you can break all of those things down into a routine. It might be cleaning up after dinner. teaching them the steps of how to clean up after themselves. What do you do with the extra food that's on their plate? What do you do in your home? So teach them what to do with the food, teach them where to put their dishes, how to wash their hands after. You can break anything down into a routine, and the more predictable your child's day is, the easier it will be for them to follow rules and to get through each day. They're not always guessing or scared about what's coming next. They now have that safety and they have that security and that predictability that will help them be successful each each day. That's not to say that your child will never have a bad day, but it definitely will help. Even as adults, doesn't it help us when we're more organized and we have things planned and we have things written down and we know what's coming next? It's the same way with the child. When they know what's coming next, they typically will have a better outcome. Um, I did want to talk to you about a couple of things that you can do with your child that are like fun games to help your child build self regulation skills and follow direction. And one of those things would be to play the traffic light game. So this I just colored here at home with a crayon. I took a piece of paper, a red crayon, a green crayon, a black crayon. So I made a go circle and a stop sign. And you can see it's nothing fancy, but it's a visual and it is going to help them with the game. So the game is called traffic light, or you could call it stoplight. You could call, if they you want to be a community hero and you want to call him a traffic cop, whatever makes it exciting and fun. You can be the sign holder, or if your child is bigger and they're able to hold it and flip it, they can do it. But say if you're the one holding it, so you would go to the other side of the room and you would face your child, and they would be on the opposite side, and you would hold this up and say go, and then they would come towards you, and then you would say stop, and then they would stop and you would tell them, good job, I really like how you stopped when I said to stop. Now it's time to go. And then you would, say stop and just do that over and over. And if you have a place outside where you can do it safely, where they can have more room to run. So now you're getting them some physical activity, you're helping them to follow direction, you're giving them positive praise and encouragement. And it's super simple, but it does so much for them. And it's fun. Who doesn't want to have fun with their littles, right? Another thing that you could do is play musical chairs. Kids love that. There's a really fun song that I like to do in class, and I've also done at home with my own children, called the Freeze Song, and it'll tell you to dance and skip and hop, and it's a ton of fun. So if you have access to YouTube, you could look up the Party Freeze Song. That's what it's called, and it's tons of fun. I really think that your little would like that. And, if your child is an infant and they're not up running yet, or they're not able to play musical chairs, you can also do simple things with them like peekaboo. And do you remember in our last video, I talked to you about how important it is to not only do things, but to talk about the things that you're doing. So you could say, all right, we're going to play peekaboo now. First, I'm going to hide my eyes and you're going to find me. And then next, you're going to hide your eyes and I'm going to find you. And then as you're doing those steps, remind them again, okay, now it's time for me to hide my eyes. Peekaboo, right? And then after you've done peekaboo, now encourage them that it's their turn to hide their eyes. And if they can't put their hands up yet, you put their little hands up. Oh, where'd you go? Peekaboo. And now you're teaching them from an infant, right? That there's different steps to doing things and to follow direction, even though it doesn't seem like it because you're just having fun and you're bonding. But though anything can be turned into a routine if you talk them through something, even if they're still in diapers, talking to them about what you're going to do with their diaper. So first I'm going to open your diaper and I'm going to take it down and I'm going to wipe and then we're gonna put on the new diaper. You can turn anything into a routine and it helps them to feel safe and to have some predictability. So even from a very young age, it is possible to do those things for your child. So recap. Rules and routines help a child feel safe. As a Fin Big, our job is to keep our littles safe. Their job is to help us keep them safe. They help us by following the rules. They learn rules with routines, right? So I think it's just always important to verbalize those things to our kids. And it may be, having someone like Mr. Fox come, right, Mr. Fox? Yes, I think you did that quite nicely. I really enjoyed how you talked to all of our Fin Littles and Fin Bigs about the rules. I think you did a rather nice job of informing them of some very important things. Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Fox. I appreciate that so much. Well, Mr. Fox, part of our routine is that every day at the end of our video, we sing a song. Would you like to help us sing that song? Oh, I would love to. Okay, here we go. Friends, do you remember our goodbye song? That is another one of our routines, right? We always start with the song and we finish with the song. So let's go ahead. Goodbye, I'm so glad you came today. Goodbye, I'm so glad you came today. Goodbye to you, goodbye to me. Goodbye to all of our Fen family. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. All right, friends, until next time, I'll see you soon.